Hi everyone, welcome to Aquarius full moon meditation. Today is January 25th, 2024, and it is a very powerful portal, a powerful time for all of us as a humanity, I think. There were a lot more people registered for this meditation, so let's see if somebody arrives late. But while we are, in the meantime, we are still moving ahead. I welcome you in this space together, and I really appreciate you for showing up live. And as usual, I think we'll go through the esoterics first, and then go through the guided journey, and then at the end there's space to share something if you wish to. And also, if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, or you can place your questions or comments in the chat as well. To me, the archetype of Aquarius is very personal. I had my birthday yesterday, so I'm born under the sun of Aquarius. My soul is also Aquarian, and so this archetype is very prominent or dominant in my chart. And I also want to point out that not only is it my personal experience, but it is the zodiac sign or the archetype that the humanity is moving towards as a new era, moving from the time of era of Pisces into the Aquarian era. And also in this transition is the opposite pole, or the polar opposite. It is very important, and that is of Leo archetype. At this point, now that we're having this meditation, we are looking at things from soul's perspective, so from the point of the sun, and now sun is in Aquarius. So Leo is Leo is representing the personality, and as we have been journeying through this past months since, almost 10 months now, since the beginning of astrological year, and this self-consciousness developed in Leo has taken its time to gestate and to mature into group consciousness, and that's what Aquarius is about. It is about group consciousness instead of self-consciousness. So this doesn't mean that you forget yourself. Not at all. It's just about the stage of development where this healthy individuation has happened and taken place, meaning that as a human being, when you hopefully, obviously, basically none of us have had that perfect upraising and parenting that we would have needed to be without any trauma or without anything that we are working through, and that's perfectly fine, because all that is needed is just a good enough parenting. And if there are people who have been going through even tougher times, then that's totally fine, and it just means that the road is, or the path is, a bit it takes a bit more effort. And at the same time, it offers plenty and abundantly of opportunities, of portals, of blessings to use as a tool for growth, as it is for Aquarius. One of the typical characteristics of Aquarius is that Aquarius knows that when there is a time to roll in the mud and go through trauma or whatever personality things that we are working on or working through, and when there is a time for peak experience, for example, in the Capricornian season, that we reach high insights and clarity and all that there's a huge scale between those two polar opposites or polar experiences. And in Aquarius, you get to be in the middle and see that you are, or I am not neither of them. I just use these as a tool for further growth, for further expansion, for even further holding, for further consciousness, and when larger consciousness. And when the development and the individuation has happened, so that we have developed a strong enough personality, meaning that it's solid enough to carry soul. It's there's no risk of being psychotic or anything like that, but rather it is, and that is very extremely said. It doesn't need to be psychotic. It just needs to be, meaning that when a person is already in a state of psychosis or something like that, it means that the personality structure is not strong enough to hold the consciousness or the information that is flowing through from the universe, and that's one perspective to it, of course, and not the only one. And then there are people who have a bit stronger personality, and on the other end of the polarity is that there is such a thick structure to a personality that it actually has to crumble a bit in order for the soul to be able to infiltrate. So in this individuation process, everyone has a unique experience and unique path. What does it mean for you to be individuated enough for the soul to work together with the personality, and the personality to work with the soul? It's totally up to your soul contracts, up to your soul path, and only you know it deep down, or maybe it's very clear to you. And in this individuation, or as this individuation process is matured, the realization comes that, wait, so it's not just about me. It's not just me out here. I'm not the center of the world, like a small child would think and would experience and would expect, which is very natural. But rather, we open up to the surroundings, and we start to hold more and more of consciousness, expand our consciousness to hold more and more of the humanity, to hold more and more of the lower kingdoms of nature, the animals, the plants and the minerals. And we remove ourselves from the center. We leave that center empty, and we allow a deeper life to flow through. And so this is this deeper life puts us in our place, and it opens us up for humanitarian service, deep purpose, and profound conviction to serve. To serve so that the personality and soul are working together as one synthesized whole, rather than fighting each other or sabotaging each other somehow. But now they are working together. And so the first keynote of the Aquarius is that the service of the personality eventually transmutes itself into the service of humanity. And there's a distinction here that in service of humanity, it's the whole of humanity on the planet, but it also refers to the esoteric teachings according to which humans only are human beings when they reach the third initiation. So this place where the personality and soul are working together. And before that, they are still working on the lower self. And so they have not reached the stage of humanity or human being. Because being human is to serve. And being human is to serve as a bridge between different humans, but also, horizontally, but also vertically, serving the earth and serving the cosmos as a bridge. And this bridge or this humanitarian awareness or humanitarian service is the sensitivity to the plan of God. And when this superficial and selfish activity changes into service and deep and active intention to be active for the one life and on behalf of the one life, it is the place where we are the waters of life that are poured forth for thirsty humans. And so the keynotes, so the first keynote is the service of the personality eventually transmutes itself into the service of humanity. And the second is that the superficial and selfish activity changes into a deep and active intention to be active on behalf of the hierarchy. And the hierarchy refers to the monadic sphere, the spirit level, the one life at the core. And the third keynote is that self-conscious living changes finally into a sensitive humanitarian awareness. So we start to know ourselves as the whole of humanity, instead of just one human amongst other humans, but as the consciousness grows, we start to know ourselves as the one humanity. And these keynotes, in my experience, are related to the planetary rulers and the rays that they represent. And so the planetary ruler on the personality level is Uranus. And it brings in the ray 7, spirit and matter. And this represents the will to be and to know simultaneously on all planes of manifestation. And the second planetary ruler is Jupiter. And it brings in the ray 2, which is the energy of love wisdom. And it is about the fusion of heart and mind. And that is the subjective purpose of manifestation. And this is brought about through the 3rd and 7th ray activity. On the personality level. And the planetary ruler on the spirit level, monadic level, is the moon. And the moon brings in the ray 4, harmony through conflict. And it is the will to be and to know, plus the fusion of the heart and mind. And it is the result of the work carried forward in the spirit level, and under the energy that produces harmony through conflict. So Aquarius is about constant movement, spontaneity, spontaneous activity, and constant movement. And this brings in evolutionary development. And it is about cycles. It is about mastering and understanding cycles. I love this quote from Alice Bailey, and I'll read it to you. The Aquarian can experience the depths of depression and of self-depreciation, or he can know and pass through the exaltation of the soul and the sense of spiritual power which soul control gives, and know them to be the interplay and the action and reaction which are necessary for growth and comprehension. The law of such action and reaction is the law with which he works. And so, how the personality and soul work together, in my opinion, in my experience, is that yes, there are personality issues, then there's highs and high peaks of the soul, and there are cycles to these. There are they are serving each other in the sense that when personality is growing and maturing, it is opening up more soul. And when the soul is more active, it also activates the personality, and it is bringing in the change transmutation and flow in these cycles. And it's, although it may sound very heavy, to me, it is also, there's some lightness to it. And the reason why it is light and fluid is because Aquarius is ruled by the element of air. And air is an element that is all pervasive and interpenetrating. And so it is accessing everything and anything. It is everywhere. Even the most dense layers of our being. The Aquarian archetype is penetrating that. It is already there in the in between and in between things, and it is penetrating all things. And what that element of air is carrying, in my experience, is peace coming from through the conflict that it is created through the conflict of two poles of opposites, and the peace that is in the middle is everywhere. And so, what is it to be human? How do we live our lives so that our personality and soul work together without losing our sense of self, and at the same time losing our personal identity while we retain spiritual identity? It's not a very simple thing, or it is a very simple thing, but it's not something that the mind may understand. And the questions for this meditation is that once we have when we have some sense of what it is to be human, what is the service that we are transmitting in deep conviction and purpose? And what is the mode or the art of your choice, of your life? How would your life look like if you experienced yourself as one humanity? And where would that one life move you? How would it move you? Us. So this is the inquiry that I'm inviting in today. Obviously, you may have your own intention for this meditation, and that is totally welcome. And I absolutely welcome that and encourage that. So if you have an intention for yourself, you can speak it out, pray it out, whisper it out. And then we'll move on to our guided journey together. Unless you have any questions or comments or anything like that. Okay. So in Capricorn, we reached the high peak of materialism, of matter. And now we are moving in from earth to air. And as we start, I invite you to find a posture and space in the space or place in the space that you're in that you feel most comfortable and safe to start. Today, I will incorporate the core activation meditation received from Master DK through Bruce Lyon into this meditation, and let's see how we work through that today with the archetype of Aquarius. I invite you to sense the air in this room that you're in. As you breathe it in, as you feel it in the skin. Just bringing your awareness to the air. You can even move if you want to. And as always, this meditation is not so much about sitting still, but if you feel like slowly moving maybe your hands or your head or anything else, as if to move the air or to be caressed by the air in the room that you're in, or that you, if you want to caress yourself, your body from within with that air through your breath, see what kind of breathing it births. And as you open more of your senses to the air, sense how that air in the room that you're in is pervading and penetrating all the cells in your body. How that air is gently at its own pace, moving in between the different atoms and cells, tissues, bones in your body, through the pores of your skin. And as this air is, or you're sensing this air to pervade and penetrate all the cells and atoms in your body, that does not mean that you become less grounded in any way. You can still sense the matter. It just becomes more spacious. And also notice if there is mental activity or somehow, some other way, this ungrounded air, airy quality. And see if there is that kind of ungrounded airy quality in your being, that what does it need to, I want to say mature, I just want to, what does it need to mature and ground, to come from the higher realms into the plane of manifestation? You can explore that through your body, that if there is that airy quality, that how is it moving, how does it feel if there is some ungroundedness, and you can explore how does that air want to move in order to find its pathway to more close to the earth, or even fuse with the earth. And as you explore the element of air in your experience, what do you notice in the physical sensations or emotions or thoughts? What comes up? What is alive in this particular moment, if anything? It doesn't mean that it has to, or there has to be anything, but if there is, just notice what is there. If there is resistance to come down from the high realms, and even if you come down, it doesn't mean that you become heavy. You just change direction and become focused. And what happens when this direction is acknowledged and when this groundedness is rooted? What do you notice in your experience? Then allow this air to center in your heart center. Center yourself in the heart center. And as you feel the air still penetrating, pervading your body and the space that you're in, now allow that to expand, to sense the air between us here present in the meditation. Those who are joining live and those who are present in energy that will catch the replay of this meditation. Let that air expand and touch the same air that we are breathing. And notice what becomes available in your experience. allowing the air to between us all, between and through us, pervading and penetrating our bodies, our souls, our unique individuals. While we still remain as a spiritual self. Then, as this meditators, allow your awareness to expand through that air, to hold that air outside of this group, to include the rest of the humanity, the planet. Sensing the one humanity, sensing all those individuals, those 8 billion people. And what becomes available in your experience. What kind of things do you sense in humanity? What are the gifts? What are the shadows? Sense yourself as the heart center of humanity at this point, at this point of time and space in this meditation, in the center, in the heart of humanity. And draw in the energy of the sun through the north, the energy of Aquarius through the north into your being. And see what flows through. You don't need to know. There's no right or wrong with this one. As we serve and create and form one group, and we are all leaders of it, we each have something that we need to know at this point of time and space, and that we need to ground through our own experience. So allow that to just be received in your being as the heart of humanity. And then draw in the energy of the moon. And in this time, that is the energy of Leo through the south pole into your being, into your center, as the center and heart of humanity. Again, not needing to know from your mind, but rather opening to receive the transmission. And then mix them together in the heart center of your physical being. Sense the dark core that is revealed at the center of these energies of Aquarius and Leo, at the center of their union, and enter this core. Let the air carry those transmissions, mix them, sense the dark core that is revealed. And attempt to feel from that core the sutratma or life thread that has a direct connection to the monad, your essential life force. Also sense the dark flow of energy that connects your heart, your being as the heart of humanity. to the central core of the Earth, and also to the black hole at the core of the galaxy, representing Earth's moon. Realize that your heart center is not simply in contact with these centers. Your heart and your being as the heart of the humanity is an extension of their life coiled into the time and space density of your human incarnation. You are that life. Take time to identify with it. Allow the reservoir of life force to build in your heart and in your being as the heart of humanity. Use the mantra of life. I will leave a gap between each line so you can repeat it for yourself, either out loud or in silence. There is no soul. There is no time. There is no space. There is only life. One life. This life I am. My will is for all my lesser selves. To know me at their core as the essence. The beginning and end of their existence. It is thus as the one life I live. Feel your love for all the Divic lives that make up your bodies of manifestation through the element of air, pervading and penetrating everything in your physical body, emotional body, mental body, energetic body, and the whole of humanity. Release this reservoir of life so that it radiates omnidirectionally from your heart center and as from your being as the heart of humanity, as dark love, light, and power. Feel it effortlessly penetrating the core of all the beings that make up your earth, that make up the one humanity, from the atoms of your physical body to the atoms of your mental body, emotional body, and those of all the people in the world. All of these are Devic lives awaiting activation and direction from you, the God and Goddess of their world. Sense the life and death nature of the energy that naturally destroys or ends those patterns of behavior that the lives in your etheric, emotional, mental bodies have become accustomed to, but that are not aligned with your essential divinity. These take the forms of complexes, patterns of thought, feelings, and habitual activity that have developed in your absence. Sense the purification that is taking place in the atoms of these lives as they change their vibratory rates as a result of coordination. Sense the organization through resonance that naturally occurs as the cells of the different bodies express their core note and find their way into the organs and chakras, the different structures and dimensions of your subtle bodies as well as the physical. Finally, consciously radiate the life reservoir along the verticality of the sushumna or central column of the spine. Add the energy of the sutratma to the antakarana so that the connection through the base to the core of the earth and through the crown to the core of the galaxy is actively vibrating. as you sense yourself as the one humanity. How are your personality and soul aligning with each other? How are they working together? What is the synthesis of your personality and soul? What is the quality of service that comes from that synthesis? What is the quality of service that you transmit through this synthesis? What is the deep conviction and purpose that the one life is calling out in you? What is the deep conviction and purpose that the one life is calling out in you? The soul calls via the rising sign. The wine must be shared. Give thanks. The wine must be shared. give thanks. And the pledged disciple responds, water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty humans. Water of life am I, poured forth for thirsty humans. Where is that water flowing to? Where is that need that activates the flow of waters? Then take a harvest of this journey. What do you take with you? What do you leave behind? This concludes our guided part today. I invite you to find a conclusion that suits your state best at the moment, whether that be to stretch or to shake, to be still, or to gather your energy to your central line, to rub your feet, to or to put more weight on your body, to touch your body with your hands, to ground yourself more, to drink water, whatever that is. Allow yourself that moment. And then when you're ready, I invite you back to our shared space on the screen. For some reason, I'm quite emotional about this meditation. Feeling my heart break. Feeling my heart break for humanity. And since yesterday, my prayer for humanity has come through the words of a song. Ali Halbert is the artist, and she sings, "Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your bones and muscles and bones." And I pray that the humanity can release that heaviness. Is there anything you would like to share? Or to be witnessed in? I see smiles. I interpret them to be smiles.
Good share. I'm just still landing or receiving or melting with this peace. At the same time, I will take this peace and this expansion to my wilderness, to my craziness, to my deepness. And that's not just mind, but it's something that wants to channel through this vehicle. Peace with wilderness.
Thank you.
I thought there was nothing to share because I almost was sleeping for a bit, and yeah, I just felt really tired when I started the meditation, and I wasn't aware of that before. So, but anyways, something just has been touching me very much about the air element, and somehow this notion of humanity or identifying with humanity is very much one with that breathing in and out. Yeah, I felt my whole skin was breathing in and out, and it was very permeable. Yeah, and somehow, mm, yeah, somehow that very much links to the expansion into the one humanity. And I'm not sure how it really comes together. But thank you, yeah. And I will listen again for the rest, I think.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I think it will reveal more of itself over the next 2 weeks when the full moon is still up, and maybe there's more things to seed and plant over the new moon. Let's see. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
I for some reason the voice is somehow robotic. I couldn't make out what you were saying. Can you try again?
You still can hear me.
I could hear that. Can you hear me? But then the beginning of that was lost.
When you change the room, it's better.
Ah, okay, yes.
Okay. For me, the meditation was kind of hard to be in the meditation because my body is experiencing all this pain that this humanity has. So it's so painful. And now I'm feeling it all the time, I guess. And now I feel this release happening, but during this meditation, I was just, my body was in the pain and I had to move to just get it out somehow. But there's so much of it. So um, it's kind of hard.
I hear you. I hear that it is a struggle to be with that pain. It's a lot to take in.
It is, yeah.
Thank you for bringing that in. Thank you. Let's see how the full moon blesses us. And we'll harvest the gems for the new moon. The new moon will be in a couple of weeks. I will post more info about that. And I thank you for joining me today. And I also thank you, those who are catching the replay. It is really important that we do also the energetic work together. And as I believe that there is no time and space doesn't really matter if you are catching the replay or being here live. But the human, the personality, little me is like, where is everybody? I want to see you, I want to feel you. The animal in me is also missing bodies, physical bodies. But energetically, it is still worth the work. Full moon blessings.